The gentle rays of sun dispel my sleepiness. Though my eyes remain closed, I can feel the serenity of my surroundings seep into every pore. The air is moderately cool yet gentle. Somehow it feels like the sky today is clearer than it's ever been. Alright, it's time to get up and go to school. After all, I've been so beset by my misfortune these past 2 days, I almost forgot I was still a student. Did Akiha get pissed when he got home? I would imagine so. I open my eyes. I'm laying in bed and my glasses are on the nightstand. Acting on autopilot, I put them on and let my gaze wander. The sunlight streaming through the window is so vibrant that I can almost hear it calling me outside. I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air. Oh, right, it's Sunday. There's no school. The hands of the clock make a ticking sound. I can hear little birds chirping outside. Ah, I'm back. It's a morning just like any other, but now it feels exceptionally pure.
よかった。
I don't feel this way because I'm alive or because I was able to do something about that vampire. I'm thankful because I was able to go back to my normal life after living through that madness. Thankful that I can happily enjoy a morning like this. There is no greater reward for an insignificant person such as myself.
おはようございます。シキ様。
Hey, Sui, long time no see. Surprised you again? I reflexively snap bolt upright. Looking over, I see Usui standing at attention in front of the door.
翡翠。
申し訳ありません。シキ様がなかなかお気づきになられませんので、こちらから声をおかけしたのですが。
いや、こっちこそごめん。
She startled me. I've only just woken up, and already my heart is pounding.
あれ、まだ7時前だけど。
はい。シキ様のお目覚めには少しばかり早い時間です。
だよね。じゃあ翡翠は何をしに来たんだ？
シキ様を起こしに参りました。秋葉様からここ2日間の事情を説明してもらいますので、
Oh boy.
テコを使ってでも連れてくるようにとことづかっております。
Akiha's gonna chew the fuck out of you, bro. Akiha, the past 2 days. Explain. These cryptic words fly around inside my brain. Resisting the temptation to abandon this train of thought, I take 10 seconds to piece things together. Now that I think about it, or rather, no matter how much I consider it, there's no way I can explain the events of the past 2 days. Absence without official leave, violation of curfew, and to top it off, a complete lack of communication. Akiha is scary enough when I don't come home before dusk. I shudder to think what kind of face she's making right now.
あのさ、翡翠。控えめに言って、秋葉のやつ、怒ってる。
さあ、どうでしょうか。
Oh god, those very vague words make me very nervous.
それはシキ様が直にお確かめください。
Oh boy. Okay, Hisui's tone also comes off as somewhat cold and dispassionate. If this is how it's going to be, I should really have returned to the mansion even if I had to crawl. Even if I had to crawl?
いや、ちょっと待った。それ以前に、なんで部屋で眠ってるんだ？
シキ様は昨夜の午前2時過ぎにお帰りになられました。玄関口で眠っていたのを姉さんが気づいて、お部屋にお連れしたとのことです。
My mouth hangs wide open. Coming home late at night after total radio silence, falling asleep in the entryway after being unable to make it to my room. I'm like some feral drunk who missed the last train.
あいつ、人を猫か何かと一緒にしやがって。
Arquaid's face springs to mind. Well, at least I should be grateful that she carried me as far as the doorway. In any case, I understand the situation now.
すぐに行くから、アキハにはできるだけ落ち着くように言っておいてくれると嬉しいんだ
At
け
least do
ど。
as much as you can.
申し訳ありません。それは諸事情によりお断りいたします。
Damn, never mind. Hisui replies firmly. It's clear that I now stand at the very bottom of the pecking order within the Tohon household. Since Akiha is the head of the mansion, it's no surprise I have no allies when she's upset. Well, I may as well get up. It's no use staying in bed forever. Oh no. Ouch. As soon as I stand up, a tearing pain races through my legs. So that's how it is. If you were to ask me what I'm most surprised about, it'd be the fact that I'm still alive. After doing all those crazy things, of course it feels unnatural to wake up to a morning like this one.
シキ様、いかがなされましたか？汗がすごく。
A copious amount of sweat is forming on my forehead. It seems that just the pain of trying to walk is enough to cause my body to react like this.
お体の調子が優れないのでしたら、もうしばらくお休みになられた方がよろしいのではないでしょうか。
I don't think that's a good idea, considering Aki is probably going to get more pissed if I do that.
先ほどはああ申しましたが、アキハ様には私から。
いや、大丈夫。ただの捻挫だ。すぐに収まるよ。それよりアキハの方が怖い。先延ばしにしたら余計に怒られそうだ。
It's clear that Hisui cares about him, and that's nice. Hisui's eyes are full of reproach, as if asking me not to tell lies. However, due to her position, she cannot press me about it. I'm really sorry, but right now I have no choice but to rely on this obvious subterfuge to make you agree.
着替えたらロビーに行くよ。すぐに済ませるから廊下で待っていてくれ。
かしこまりました。どうかご無理はなさいませんようお願いします。
Hisui bows deeply and leaves the room. I change out my pajamas and into some casual clothes, trying to move my body as little as possible as I do. My first weekend at home after 7 years away is already off to a rocky start. Hisui is waiting for me in the hallway. The pain in my left leg is enough to make me want to scream with every step. Although my entire body feels heavy, it's only a slight muscle ache. It's not actually all that painful. I felt around with my hands to confirm, but it seems that the cuts I received on my cheeks and shoulders from Vla's eye shards have completely healed. The unnatural lack of any scars makes it clear that this is Arkoi's handwork. I guess she did say she'd patch me up.
シキ様、差し出がましいこととは存じますが、こちらをお使いください。
Hisui timidly presents me with a long, narrow rod. Oh, it's a cane? It's a cane. No, a crutch.
よくあったね、こんなの。
はい、
Where'd you get that from?
以前用具室で見た覚えがありましたので、一縷の望みをかけて探してまいりました。
Sliver of hope feels like a bit of an exaggeration. I smile at the turn of phrase before noticing that Hisui seems to be breathing heavily. She must have hurried to fetch it during the small time window while I was changing.
ありがとう。正直歩くたびにかかとから飛び上がりそうだったんだ。すごく助かる。
はい、お役に立てたのなら幸いです。
Yeah, that cheered you up a bit. I shift the weight of my body off of my left leg and onto my left hand through the crutch. With this, I can walk without issue. I thank Hisui once again for her thoughtfulness, and together we head for the lobby. Aki's probably standing next to the window already, just ready to glare at me when I walk in. Well, we've arrived. I lean the crutch up against the wall beside the door. Straight ahead, on the other side of the store, is the head of the Tono family, Akiha-sama. She may be a year younger, yet now she impatiently lies in wait for her pitiful older brother to make his excuse to her. I may as well be entering hell itself. No, complaining won't solve anything. These are the consequences of my own actions. Regardless of the circumstances, I was absent from school without permission for 1 day and didn't return home for 2. It's no wonder Akiha demands an explanation. In this situation, I should... Okay, so considering the situation... oh, wait, look at these decisions. Apologize sincerely, try to fool her, which is a definite no, and tell her the truth. I don't think she will believe the truth, considering, like, everything that's happened, and the amount of, like, theories she put in her own head. So I don't think telling the truth would do much, so I guess apologize sincerely. Let's do that.
そうだな。それが一番いいと思う。
Because I don't think she'll believe the story like, oh yeah, I ran into this vampire chick and I fought another big ass vampire that caused me all these wounds. What do you know? Yeah. I can't mention Arcuate or Vlav. It's not like she would understand, and I don't want her to get involved. Though I absolutely cannot tell her the truth, I can at least apologize sincerely for my failings. You better get on your knees and bow, dog.
よし、行くぞ。
Taking a deep breath, I open the door to the living room. Ah, so you arrived.
おはようございます、兄さん。
There she is.
不思議とずいぶん久しぶりな気がしますね。
Yep. Man, is it just me or is Akiha insanely intimidating?
やあ、おはよう、アキハ。
That's your opener? Oh boy, I know this is gonna go south very quickly.
挨拶は結構ですから、そこに座ってください。ええ、いろいろと長くなるはずですものね。
Is it just my imagination, or does it look like she's having fun? She must be. I'm like a deer caught in the headlights. Maybe I'd better just say hi and then make a tactical retreat.
兄さん。
おう、座りますとも。
A single glare from Akiha is enough to dash my naive thoughts of escape. I sit down on the sofa slowly, holding back the pain in my left leg.
座りましたよ。
言わずともわかります。妙な態度でこちらの規制をそがないでください。卑怯です。
なんで卑怯なんだ？
卑怯でしょ。そんな顔をされたら気が緩む。
Think she really is big tsundere these days, is she? After trunicating her statement with a cough, Akiha glares at me with an even sharper gaze than before.
兄さん、早速ですが、おとといと昨日のお話を聞かせていただけませんか？
As she eloquently states her demands, Akiha picks up her teacup. Though her sentence is phrased as a question, there's no mistaking the fact that it is actually an order. But, as her older brother, I can't let her hear about what actually transpired. I would much rather have her hate me than worry about me.
それなんだけど、アキハ。
はい。何でしょう。
率直に言って、事情は説明できないんだ。
Uh-oh. The teacup Akiha was holding has fallen onto the table. Actually, it'd be more accurate to say that she dropped it on purpose.
アキハ様。ああ、ごめんなさい、スイ。片付けてもらえる？
What a terrifying voice. Hisui silently cleans up the spilled tea and the broken, very expensive-looking teacup. Also, did I mention how terrifying her voice was? After she finishes cleaning it up, Hisui leaves the living room.
それで、兄さん。
何？
この2日間の出来事を詳しく話していただけますか？
Have I gone back in time? The head of the family is determined to make me talk. But even so, I can't tell Akiha what happened. Even if it's the only way to save my own skin. There's no way I could let her hear such a tale.
何度聞かれたって話せないものは話せない。アキハには余計な心配をさせて悪かったと思ってる。連絡を入れなかったことも謝る。だけど話せないことは話せない。
私に悪いと思っているのに話せないんですね。兄さんは弁明もしないのですか？
いや、それは。
As much as I'd like to explain myself.
言い訳のしようがないので。でもこの2日間悪いことはしていない。そう信じたい。
That's what I want to believe. Oh no. Yeah, the last 2 days were nothing but kill or be killed. But despite that, I want to believe that I made the right choice. I wanted to help Arquay, true, but even putting that reason aside, I still have no regrets about killing that vampire. I may not have acted fast enough, and that may have cost lives, but at least from now on, nobody will die as a result of having their blood sucked.
ごめんな、アキハ。迷惑をかけるけど、これ以上は聞かないでくれ。
Akiha stares into my eyes. The suffocating atmosphere persists for a little while longer.
そうですね。
Damn, just like that? Okay.
考えてみれば兄さんにも事情があるのでしょうし、私がそれに深く干渉することはできませんものね。
悪い。そう言ってもらえると助かる。
That punishment is gonna be like, your allowance is 0 for the next month and a half or some shit.
わかりました。この件に関してこれ以上の追及は勘弁して差し上げます。連絡をいただけなかった点については私にも落ち度がありますから。
How so?
落ち度なんてそんなのアキハにないだろ。
携帯電話を取り上げたのは私です。あれがあればズボラな兄さんでも連絡ぐらいはしたのではありませんか。
Well, see, the thing is, my phone has already been surreptitiously returned.
ですがそれも今回だけです。今後はこのようなことは控えてください。兄さんは遠野家の唯一の男性なんですから、もう少しご自分の立場を理解していただかないと困ります。良くない外聞が広まってしまったら遠野家の今後の人付き合いにも影響がありますし。
Future networking? Does she mean between me and some other prestigious family?
いやー、それこそ問題ないだろう。俺が何しようと興味も持たないってあっちの方々は。だいたい遠野の跡取りは秋葉なんだから、家のことを思うなら俺をよそに出すなり、遠野の家にふさわしい婿養子でも見つければいいのに。
Aki has fallen silent for some reason.
どうした？気分でも悪いのか、秋葉。
結構です。私を気遣う余裕があるのでしたらご自分の体調を気にしてください。慢性的な貧血持ちなんですから、兄さんは。
She's right. I do collapse from anemia rather frequently.
ともかくあまりお一人で屋敷を出ないでください。そうでなくとも近頃の町は物騒なんです。兄さんみたいにぼーっとしている人は通り魔に襲ってくださいと言っているようなものなんですから。
それなら大丈夫。あんな事件二度と起きないよ。
Yeah. The city had been turned upside down by those serial killings. Everyone was terrified of the killer's news had dubbed the modern-day vampire who had evaded detection even as they stalked the city streets at night. But that's all in the past now.
吸血鬼はいないってことだよ。その犯人はもう捕まったんだ。
そうなんですか。それは良い知らせですが、兄さんよくそんなことを
Uh-oh,
知って
she's
いま
getting
す。
suspicious.
ああ、たまたま逮捕現場に居合わせたというか。
I laugh at the ridiculousness of my own statement. I suppose it really was all just a series of coincidences. I only spent 2 days with Arquade. So much happened that even now it feels like it was all a dream, but at least the monster that had been nesting in the city is gone. On that point at least, I think I can say with pride that everything is taken care of.
兄さんどうしたんです。急に嬉しそうな顔をして。
別に何でもない。ただ終わったんだなってようやく実感できた。
Smiling without even realizing it, I murmured those words. It seems that this explanation was enough for Akiha. I thank her and stand up.
いや、安心したらお腹が減ってきた。朝食をもらってきてもいい？
私に許可を求める必要はありません。朝食まで管理する気はありませんから、ご自由にとってください。琥珀なら厨房で朝食の支度をしているでしょうし。
サンキュー。じゃあ遠慮なく。
I start walking toward the doorway. As expected, my left leg still hurts.
お待ちなさい、兄さん。先ほどから気になっていましたが、今のではっきりしました。足を怪我していますね。
いや、これは捻挫というか、筋を違えたというか、とにかく大した怪我じゃないんで気にしないでくれ。
そうですか。大したこと。
What's that look on your face for? Akiha strides over to me purposefully. Then, without hesitating, she makes eye contact and casually... Damn. She stomps right on the most swollen part of my left foot. Her aim is so accurate that you'd think she has a sixth sense for locating injuries.
あらびっくり。兄さんのポーカーフェイスも直接的な痛みには脆いのですね。
Dang. That shit's crazy, bro. What the hell?
そりゃ弱いよ。っていうか俺の方がびっくりだよ。
And that look. God.
お前分かっててやっただろ。
誤解ですわ。大した怪我ではないという兄さんの言を信じて精一杯の勇気で試してみただけですもの。
Yeah, literally. My demonic sister smiles gracefully as she giggles. What the hell? Could she be any more transparent? This is clearly payback for me not telling her what I was doing. Acting as though nothing had happened, yet with a new spring in her step, Akiha returns to the sofa and elegantly sips her tea.
さて、確かに大した怪我ではなかったけど、放っておくのも良くないわね。兄さん、課長として命じます。朝食が済み次第、診察を受けるように。怪我の理由はともかく、大げさに痛がられるのは迷惑ですから。
What about the Arachik? Is she around?
そりゃ診察は受けたいけど、怪我の理由聞かなくていいのか？
興味ありません。どうせくだらない理由でしょうから。だいたい聞いたところで私には内緒なんでしょ、兄さんは。
Sure as hell wouldn't. A blunt reply from the head of the family.
外傷のない捻挫なら琥珀でも対応できます。あ、そっか。今朝は荒木先生もいましたね。あの人はもともと外科の医師です。内科の琥珀と外科の荒木先生。お好きな方を選んでください。
What an unexpected turn of events. Oh shit, we gotta make a choice. Of course we do. Me personally, I want to see her again, because she was funny the first time we saw her. I'll have Professor Araki take care of me. I still don't know what kind of person she is, but someone that wears a white lab coat all the time, it has to be a doctor.
わかりました。荒木先生には私から伝えておきますので、あとは自室で待機していてください。荒木先生は予想のつかない方ですが、医師としての腕は確かです。ここで暮らすのなら頻繁に会う人ですし、これを。
Aki's voice is a matter of fact. It's as though she were simply delivering a message. Now then, my first priority is breakfast, but once that's dealt with, I'll go and get myself looked at. I pass the time in my room by idly leafing through some paperbacks. A little before 10 o'clock, I look out the window and catch a sight of a figure in a white lab coat strutting down the hallway. Looks like she's here, so I put down the book I was reading. As soon as I do... Hello again.
朝から体をいじってほしいとか？
Immediately taking it the wrong way.
シチューみたいにたぎった思春期少年病の餌食になっちゃうのかしら？
Without even knocking, this raving lunatic barges into my room, gaudy bag in hand. I wish I had asked for Kawaka-san instead.
すみません。どうも頼む人を間違えたみたいなんで、帰ってもらっていいですか？
Damn, that quickly?
ああ、嘘。限りなく本気だけど冗談よ。外来の診察なんて久しぶりだから患者さんとの距離感つかめなくて、フランクな挨拶の方がいいかなって気を使ってみたのよ。
This music is really good. Miss Rock has already made her way over to the bed, babbling all the while. It's a flashy strut, as though she's heading down the catwalk. Her chest and hips are swaying far more than necessary, and yet I can't make out the sound of her footsteps at all. She has the soft and stealthy footwork of a ninja. You wouldn't have guessed that she'd be loudly clattering around in her high heels earlier. I suppose that for the medical exam she opted to tone it down a notch.
はーい、それじゃあ患部を出してね、すぐ出してね。どうせなら裸になってね。お姉さん、溢れる興味を1秒も抑えられないから、もたもたしてると食べちゃうぞ。
Already making this
酒
weird.
飲んでませんよね。
飲んでませんわよ。私、常時シラフだもん。アルコールなんて摂取するぐらいならチョコ飲むわよ、チョコ。
She's right. I don't smell any alcohol. I guess this level of energy is just par for the course with her.
お？素直に見せてくれたわね。でも裾をまくし上げるだけ？パンツは？パンツ一丁にならないの？男の裸が綺麗な時期なんてせいぜい25までなんだから、今のうちに露出液つけておかないともったいないわよ。
いいから早く見てください、博士。俺にも我慢の限度があります。
博士って言った？ねえ、今博士って言った？やっぱそう見える？私。
まあ白衣着ていますし、なんというか、ほら。
You could say that she's the embodiment of a scientist. A mad one at that.
ラブイ！古代ママリにラブイ！よし、ちょっと本気出すか。
Professor Arak takes a seat and palpats my legs. It was a strange sensation. I didn't feel as though her fingers were tracing my skin so much as gently lapping against it. There was a rhythmic thumping that resonated throughout my body, but I didn't feel any pain at all. It's as though she was scanning me with a sonar of a submarine.
やったー、骨にひび入ってるわよ。しきちゃんは痛いの大好きな子だったのね。だってこんなの普通は我慢できないし。
Damn, I was worried that this might be the case. Though I'm glad that it's only a fracture. I wouldn't be surprised if I had quite a few fractures here and there.
でも変な話ね。ここに亀裂があるってことはこの辺り降りてないとおかしいんだけど。
あんた何した今？
ちょっとした消毒よ。でもこれ開く必要ないわね。固定しとけば明日には治ってるわ。あらくつまんない。
Miss Arak, Professor Arak, discontentedly scratches her head, then takes some medical equipment out of her bag. She breaks the seal on a fresh pair of surgical gloves, dons them, and starts preparing a syringe.
一応痛み止め言っとくわね。必要ないんだけど、父ちゃんから念入りにって頼まれちゃったし。
With a fluid hand movement, Professor Rock injects the painkillers into my left leg. That accomplished, she tapes my heel in place and wraps it in a bandage, thus completing the treatment. She really did a brilliant job. It's on par with the care I received from the old man from the clinic, who took care of me back when I was living with the Arimas. She'd probably be an excellent physician if she could only keep her mouth shut. Damn.
ありがとうございます。おかげで助かりました。
See, look at that. It went well.
私所詮無面かつ専門外だし、本職は科学者だし、しきちゃん博士って呼んでくれたし。
She seems to be over the moon about the fact that I called her professor. Based on her reaction, I assume that Akiha and the others have never referred to her that way before.
けどしきちゃん、ずいぶんと体に無茶させたみたいね。人体の運動性、その限界に挑んだ感じ？私、そういう無茶苦茶なの大好きだから医者として止めないけど。
おや、医者は本職じゃないんでしょ？
しきちゃんから辛辣。おとなしそうに見えて根は冷血みたいな。体だけじゃなく精神もハイブリッドなの？っていうか、あなた自分の体についてどこまで理解してるの？
貧血持ちのことですか？
そっちじゃなくて、筋肉と骨格のこと。エンジンとフレームでもいいわ。触れた感じ、君珍しい体してたから。筋肉には瞬発力重視の側筋と持久力重視の遅筋があるわけだけど、しきちゃんは側筋メイン。それはいいんだけど、なんていうか軽いのよね。骨格じゃなくて骨そのものが軽いというか、なんか生まれつき自重をごまかしてふわふわ浮く不思議ちゃんみたいな。
何ですかそれ？骨が軽いって鳥ですか？俺は。
あ、そう、そんな感じ。こんなん自然には生まれないわよ。よっぽど配合に凝ったのね。しきちゃんはまさにサラブレッド。たった10秒走るためだけに生まれてきた。兄弟なのにトーシちゃんとは正反対。
アキハと正反対なんですか？
Honestly, I can kind of see that.
そう、トウの家の子はみんな優秀かつオールドな遺伝子の配合。異種配合の賜物だけど、トーシちゃんはちょっと例外というか特例つうか奇跡。先祖返り、まあ覚醒遺伝ね。配合を始める前の純粋なパターンを持っている。そうね、あなたが10年に1人の才能なら、あの子は10年、100年、1000年。さて何年に1人の逸材だと思う？
Professor Rock poses the question with a weary smile on her face. I think it's once in a decade, once in a century, once in a millennium. I don't know for sure, so once in a millennium.
なんて全部見当違いの話です。
Okay, sure.
人的才能と比べることさえおこがましい。トーシちゃんは万年に一人の怪物だもん。
Professor Rock lets loose a hearty cackle. It appears she's thoroughly enjoying herself. I unconsciously clench my fist in response to her attitude. Did the fucking Arthur
あ
meme.
ら、妹をけなされて怒っちゃった？私としては最上級の愛情を込めたつもりだったんだけど。
そうですか。だとしても今の言い方はやめてください。
I don't want anyone to liken her to a monster. Now that I know vampires are real, I can't abide anyone using that term to refer to a human. And to refer to Akiha at that, I won't allow it.
あら、地雷踏んじゃった？キャー、私怖い！怖いからおいとめしちゃう！
With a clatter of heels, Mr. Rock scurries over to the door. I have no intention of calling out to her, retreating back to get her to stop. However, the woman in the lab coat halts in front of the door, then turns around with a grin playing around her lips.
でもちょっと博士として忠告しちゃう。もしこの先もそういう怪我をする予定があるなら相談に乗ってあげる。 チキちゃん、体がなまりまくってるみたいだし。どう ?7 年間の檻、取ってみたくない？とっても痛いことになるんだけど。
I don't know what she's getting at. I just know that I feel a visceral disgust at the idea of accepting her offer.
謹んで辞退します。もうこんなことは起きませんし。
You sure about that?
ええ、そうなるといいわね。じゃあね、チャオ。私はいつでも待ってるわよ。
Bye, I guess. Professor Rock blows me a kiss, then leaves the room. At least you got your leg fixed. I should pull myself together. Now that I'm able to move, I need to decide how to spend my afternoon. Having finished lunch, it's now the afternoon. Thanks to this morning's medical exam, I'm able to at least walk around without much trouble. Given that I can't go too far, how should I spend the rest of the afternoon? First let's save, obviously. Take a walk around the gardens, wander the halls of the mansion, take a quick trip to the city. Let's avoid that third option and just keep it to the mansion for now. Let's walk around the gardens. Sure. I'll go for a stroll out in the yard. I don't think we've seen there before, so why not? I haven't been out to take a good look at the gardens since I returned to the mansion. I should go see how much has changed in the past 7 years. From here, I should be able to get to the courtyard via the doorway behind the grand staircase. Bright as hell, ain't it? I head out into the terrace. This terrace also abuts the rear of the living room. Back when we were little, this was Akiha's favorite haunt on days when the weather was good. Though perhaps it would be more accurate to say that it was also her boundary. She never went out into the garden by herself. This terrace marked the confines of where she was allowed to roam.
そうだった。よく庭から声をかけて、家庭教師の目を盗んだっけ。
I think I remember being told to always keep to the terrace when we went out to play. They said that it would be mischievous of us to go into the forest by ourselves, or something along those lines. Of course, I went and took Akiha out with me to the forest anyway, and got cheated out for it afterward. Is that where that event happened? Ooh, the little fountain shit. I head down from the terrace and out into the garden. The garden looked endless in the eyes of a child, but now that I have a better perspective, it's a little easier to get a handle of the size of it. There are fewer flowers now than I remember there being 7 years ago. But aside from that, the ambience of the garden is largely unchanged. After strolling around leisurely for about 10 minutes, I arrive at the gazebo. This marks the end of the garden. Past this point, it gives way to a dense forest thick with trees. I'm still a little hobbled by my leg injuries, so this is about as far as I'll go today.
それにしても、つくづく日本離れした屋敷だよな。
I sit down on a rock and gaze out over the vast autumn garden. From this perspective, the mansion looks more like a castle than a western house. It's a spectacular sight, but it's so far removed from what I'm comfortable with that I can't help but smiling bitterly. If you ask me, the scenery is much more befitting of Akiha or her.
あいつ。
I wonder if or when we'll see her again. I mean, I only assume we will, but it doesn't seem like it will be for a while. I can't help but think of that stunningly beautiful woman.
なんだそれ。
I shake my head vigorously to clear away such a wild and crazy thought. Why am I reminiscing about Arcoid anyway? It's not like I'm ever going to see her again. Now that she has accomplished her goal of exterminating Vlav, there's no reason for her to stick around in this city. So, there's no point getting hung up on her like this.
だよな。 もともとそういう関係だし、どうってことない。ほんと、もうあんな無茶をしなくていいかと思うと、せいぜい。
I closed my mouth before I finished my sentence. There's no point even uttering such a blatant lie. It'll definitely be a lot less lively without her around, but whether that's a good thing or not is hard to say. After all, I'm still left with these feelings in my heart. Among those feelings is regret, and even lingering affection. She was nothing but trouble, but even so, it was, well, kind of fun to spend time with her. He misses her, how adorable. I nearly got killed. Why on earth am I still pinning after her? The wound I sustained last night is still there on my leg. I remember how it felt when it seemed like I was going to be killed by love. I don't want to go through something like that ever again. I breathe out a sigh and leave the gazebo behind me. I kill some more time strolling around the courtyard as I make my way back. And yet, even after the sun has set, the strange lingering attachment is not so easily forgotten. It's nighttime now. Is that the wind howling? The rest of my afternoon off passed by without an incident. I returned to my room to loaf around for a bit, and then the next thing I knew, it was already time for dinner.
呆れた。いい加減忘れろよ、俺。
I shake off the thoughts of that blonde woman still lodged in my mind. I know it's a common refrain that the sun sets early in the autumn, but it really does disappear far too quickly. I guess I was so absorbed in my insignificant thoughts that I lost track of time. Akiha and I sit in the dining room. Kawaku-san waits attentively behind her, and Tsui is likewise standing a little ways behind me. The dinner Kawaku-san has prepared for us consisted of a series of courses, culminating in a main course of Wagyu beef. Maybe it's one of the customs of the Tono residence, but Akiha spends the meal in utter silence, a prim expression on her face as she conveys each morsel of food onto her lips. Akiha had returned to the mansion maybe an hour or so prior. Apparently some sort of unforeseen problem had cropped up, and she had to go run it to ground.
翡翠、念のため聞いておくけど、うちの夕食って死後現金だったっけ？
I asked Kisui in a whisper, trying not to be heard by Akiha.
いいえ、親族の皆様間での談話は自由に行われておりました。
じゃあ、秋葉が黙っているのは単に機嫌が悪いだけ？
申し訳ありません。私には分かりかねます。あくまで憶測ですが、秋葉様はお疲れなのではないでしょうか。
そっか、そりゃそうだよな。いつも不機嫌だけど、今は特にご機嫌斜めだし、ほんとご苦労様だこと。
She hears this. I nod earnestly and sympathize with her. I can't say this out loud, but the best thing I can do for my sister after her weekend has been cut short by some unexpected crisis is to let her rest. There's no reason for me to go and put my foot in it by bringing the topic up. Let sleeping Akiha's lie and all that.
聞こえていましたよ、兄さん。
Told you.
別に午後の視察で疲れているわけではありません。食事は静粛にが当家のマナーですから。
Akiha glares at me. It's only natural she noticed me talking to Hisui, but the fact that she could even make out that we were saying it disconcerting. Her hearing must be insanely sharp.
もっとも、それも過去の話ですが。どうしても話がある。今日一日の出来事を語り合いたい。
You're still hung up
と
on
いうの
that?
であれば、その限りではありません。
I nodded my head in understanding and resumed eating. Perhaps as a result of having a light breakfast followed by a light lunch, by evening I had developed quite the appetite. Though despite that, I'm finding tonight's menu a little difficult to stomach. Not just because of the beef's tenderloin and foie gras, but also because the deep red sauce forcefully reminds me of blood, and by extension all the events that led up to yesterday. An unexpected murder, an impossible reunion, an unbelievable monster, weighed down by that heavy loss of life, their outstretched fingers, the touch of death, and finally, what I knew would naturally follow after we defeated that vampire, parting ways. How pathetic to sink this deeply into my reverie. My fever hasn't abated at all, has it?
それで、私の仕事ぶりをいたわってくれた兄さんは、午後の休みをどのように過ごされたのです？
俺のことか。午後は散歩に出て、部屋に戻ってからはずっとベッドで横になってた。
それは、また貧血ですか？
いや、考え事をしていたらいつの間にか夜になってたというか、体の調子は悪くないし、足の方も問題ないよ。
つまり、無意に時間を浪費したということですね。そんなくだらないことを堂々と口にしないでください。私は何とも思いませんが、他の人が聞けば笑い物になるだけですから。
Akiha's reaction is merciless and leaves no room for rebuttal. But be that as it may,
確かに自堕落に思われる発言だった。というか自堕落だった。反省している。けど、秋葉は何とも思わないってどうして？
could it be that her strict attitude is just for show, and she's actually benevolent when it comes to her immediate family?
どうしても何も当然でしょ。私は当の指揮に何も期待はしていませんから。兄さんがそういう人であることは初めから承知の上です。
I see. What an enlightened perspective. You can't be disappointed if you never get your hopes up. I guess this is how it feels to be at a loss for words.
いやー、ごちそうさまでした。
ごちそうさま。食後は習い事がありますので、私はこれで。兄さん、反省なされたのでしたら、今夜は早めに部屋に戻って、勉学に励んでくださいね。
Akiha gets up from her seat and leaves the dining room. I believe that tonight's lesson is a violin recital she planned earlier this evening. Just how much of an overachiever is she? I'll definitely develop an inferiority complex at this rate.
シキさん、ファイトです。秋葉様に負けないで。
The mischievous maid pumps her fists in support as she follows Akiha out of the room. After dinner, I took a quick bath and headed back to my room. I take a seat at the desk furnishing my room. As Akiha says, I'd better make up for the fact that I spent the day idling around. I spread my textbooks out across the surface of the desk. Despite all the unbelievable things that have happened to me recently, at the end of the day, I'm still a second-year high school student. I have a massive pile of work that needs to get done.
いや、山積みなんだけど。
Uh-oh, we got a procrastinator over here. No matter how hard I try, I can't concentrate at all. There's only one thing I can think about. Ooh, that's a nice image. The figure of the woman who no longer needs me, and who I really ought to forget.
ああ、もう、今日はやめやめ。
I give up, lie down on my bed, and stare aimlessly at the ceiling. It's okay. Tonight will be the end of it. The last 2 days were full of excitement, for better or worse. You'd have to be crazy to forget something like that easily. I just needed a day to cool off, that's all. I'll just lie here doing nothing and let my consciousness drift, in order to keep my memories at bay, and to dilute down the impression she left on me. I'll consign myself to nothingness and let the hours slip away. If I do that, all the events that have transpired will surely become nothing more than fragments of the past. Eventually, my eyelids begin to droop. My consciousness slowly fades. My senses are subsumed by the unbearable darkness. And just like that, the day that went by so peacefully comes to an end. Lying there in bed, wondering if I'm simply trying to fool myself, I sink into an uncertain slumber.